Hello everyone and welcome to More to Explore. I'm Miss Natasha and today I have a very exciting STEM activity for More to Explore. An extra exciting one I should say. And it is making LED jellyfishes, which is why this intro is in the dark. But the how-to video will not be. That will be fully lit. But here is the LED jellyfish. How neat is that? All right, everybody, for your LED jellyfish, in your kit you will find 3 pieces of tissue paper, 1 piece of yarn or string, 1 thumbtack, 1 LED tea light, 4 streamers. What's not in your kit but you still need, and what most people have at home, is the wax paper, clear plastic wrap, also known as cling wrap, a porcelain bowl about this size or smaller, tape, Mod Podge, or 50-50 of Elmer's glue and warm water. And you'll be putting your Mod Podge or your mixture of Elmer's glue and warm water in a small mixing container. And then you'll need a big paintbrush to apply the glue onto your mold for your jellyfish, which we'll be doing later. You'll need scissors and a tissue in case you get glue on your fingertips. And now we're ready to get started. Okay, to make our first part of our jellyfish, which is the head of the jellyfish, we will be needing wax paper, clear plastic wrap, a paintbrush to apply the Mod Podge, the napkin or tissue, a cup to put the Mod Podge in or Elmer's glue and warm water, scissors, a bowl, porcelain works best, Mod Podge or Elmer's glue and warm water. You just mix equal parts Elmer's glue and warm water and you'll have Mod Podge. And then 3 pieces of tissue paper. So that's what you'll need for the first part of your jellyfish, which will be the head. Let's get started. The very first step is to take your wax paper and you want to create a placemat for your workstation. That way, when you use the Mod Podge, it doesn't get stuck to your table. You don't want to ruin any tables today, right? So that's your protectant for your table. That way your jellyfish doesn't stick to your table too. And then we are going to put our bowl on top of our wax paper. And then we are going to get this cling wrap. So you just want, where is it? There it is. So you just want enough cling wrap to wrap your bowl. So I already cut a little bit. And you are going to protect your bowl because you don't want to ruin your bowl either. You want to protect it from the glue you're going to be using. What you're using is just the bowl for the mold of your jellyfish head. That's all. You just want the shape. So let's protect our table with wax paper and let's protect our bowl with the cling wrap. Very important. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and pour some of your Mod Podge in your bowl, in your, cup. If you need more, you can always pour more. Now, if you don't have Mod Podge, again, you just need some Elmer's glue and some warm water, equal parts, and you're just going to mix it in there. And that's what you're going to use. Okay. So now we want to take one of our tissue papers and we want to wrap our bowl and make sure the extra bit goes underneath. Just like that. Okay, and now this is the fun part. We are going to brush our Mod Podge or your warm watered down Elmer's glue over our tissue paper. This is going to create that shape we want for our jellyfish head. And you're going to just continue doing that all over this first layer of tissue paper. So go ahead and do that. Okay, now for the second step, you're going to put your second layer of tissue paper over it and press it onto that Mod Podge that you already have on that first layer. And see how your shape of your jellyfish is coming nicely, yeah? Looks good. And you want it to hug onto that first layer. Once you think it is nice and hugging that first layer of tissue paper, you're going to go ahead and you're going to podge it again. So let's do that. And for those with the watered down Elmer's glue, go ahead, do that second layer. And then go ahead and cover it again, just like you did that first time, all over. Okay, with your third sheet of tissue paper, you are going to again have it hug it. So have that bowl with the Mod Podge hug your third one. Just press it tightly with your hands. You might need to rub it a little bit because it's very important that it is tightly hugging your bowl. We don't want it to come apart when we're taking it off the bowl. So once you've got that pressed on tightly, you are going to leave that overnight, and then we're going to come back and do another layer of Mod Podge. And when that dries, we will take off the head from the bowl and we'll be done. But for now, we're going to leave it overnight so that bottom part can dry. Okay, once you let it dry overnight, you're going to do one last layer of Mod Podge over it. So you just need a little bit for one more layer, not a lot. Again, if you don't have Mod Podge, just mix Elmer's glue and warm water. And very important, when you're done with glue, you want to wash your brush very, very well. That way, when you want to use it for painting later, at another time, your paintbrush can still paint. If you don't wash your brush right away after glue, it stays sticky with all that glue. So make sure to clean your brushes after you're done with your jellyfish. Alright, we're almost done. It's just one little layer. And this will actually glue within the day. So give it about, I would say maybe 2 hours. And then we'll come back and we'll trim all of this and we'll lift up your jellyfish from your bowl. So finish with your one thin layer on top. Don't want to rip it. You're almost done. Your one thin layer. Almost done. Perfect. Alright, so we'll put this back Okay, so let this dry. You can tell once you don't see the white glue anymore and it looks clear. Okay. All right, now after you waited about 2 hours, go ahead and trim the edges. You don't want to trim the wax paper, just the extra edges of your jellyfish. All of that. And we're going to put that aside. Once you're happy with your edges and the length around your bowl, the circumference I should say, push those little pieces aside, and then let's go ahead and try to take the jellyfish off of that cling wrap. And you want to be very careful, because if you're not, it might rip, and we don't want to do that. So if it feels a little tight or it's hugging it too tight, take your time to peel it. And you're going to peel it, and you're going to keep peeling it off of the cling wrap. And there you got your top of your jellyfish. Beautiful. We're going to set this aside because we do not need that anymore. That was our mold for the top of our jellyfish. So now that we have our jellyfish, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make his tentacles. So that'll be the second part of this video. Okay, for part 2, we got our 4 streamers as our tentacles. We'll need the scissors, we'll need the thumbtack, we'll need the LED tea light candle, and a piece of yarn or string, and clear tape. Actually, it doesn't matter what kind of tape, just as long as you have some tape. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so the first step is to poke 2 holes at the top with your thumbtack. So go ahead and do that, and if you need the holes to be a little bit bigger, you just move the thumbtack around in a circle, and it makes it a little bit bigger. And then you're going to thread your yarn after you've made those 2 holes through the holes. You want this at the top, the middle portion of your thread, so you can hang your jellyfish. So go ahead, put both ends, one each through each hole. So one through the first hole, perfect, and then the other end through the second hole. Okay, once you've done that, flip it over, and we're going to take our tea light. And you can go ahead and turn your tea light on. And we are going to tape our tea light upside down. We want to tie one side of the yarn onto it, and we want to tape the other end of the yarn onto it. And if you want to reinforce it so it doesn't come off, you can go all the way around with your tape. That way your tea light and your yarn won't come apart, which is a good idea. So now when you hold it up, you have your tea light in there. Now I know the lights are on, so you can't see it just yet, but I want you to be able to see how it's supposed to be. I'll turn off the lights at the end. Okay, so once you've got that done, you are going to add your tentacles. So we are going to add 1 tentacle to each side of our candle. So we're going to add tentacle long piece of tape. Perfect. Now remember, you want the tentacle following that light. So you want top of the tentacle taped to the bottom of the candle. I'll show you why, so it makes sense. Right, because we want our tentacle falling down. So go ahead and do that with the rest of the tentacles. You have 4 sides of your candle and you have 4 tentacles. So 1 tentacle for each side of your candle. So go ahead and tape it. And you'll need long pieces of tape. I think this one's too short. So long pieces of tape to make sure it's sticking onto that candle. There we go. Now, if you have more than 4 streamers at home, or you have more than what came in your kit, you are more than welcome to add even more. I just found 4 to be the easiest way to tape to the candle, but you can just keep taping streamers on top of streamers. That way you have a ton of tentacles. It's too short. There we go. Oh, it's long. So I'll show you what 4 looks like, and if you feel like adding more, you can. Alright, so notice how I have 1 on each side of the candle. 2, 3, 4, and now I'm going to pull it up from here. It might feel a little heavy, but don't you worry, because this jellyfish made out of Elmer's glue, water, and tissue paper, or for others, Mod Podge tissue paper, and that mold is very strong, so you can definitely handle all of this. And you are all done. I will shut off the lights and hold this very tall so you can see it in all of its glory. So now you're all done with your LED jellyfishes. How neat. So go ahead and hang that up. Did you know? Jellyfish can be bioluminescent, which means they can produce their own light. Jellyfish eat fish, shrimp, crabs, and tiny plants. A jellyfish's lifespan in the wild is 1 year. The largest jellyfish is longer than a blue whale.